And welcome once again everybody to the Mineski Pro Gaming League 2014 finals. These are the LAN finals, kind of, group stages at the moment. Best of ones all around, 7 teams for one group, 7 teams for the other as well. This is going to be Awake versus Aces. Should be a pretty good game. Aces so far, they are 2-0, whereas Awake, let me check. I know how, they are 1-1, so Awake, if they win this, they're going to tie themselves up with Aces. If Aces win, they're just going to solidify their first position for the time being. We are of course HeflaTV, your English coverage. I'm Coucher, once again, joined by Grandis V. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, oddly enough. I seem to be just running on adrenaline for the next couple of hours, and hopefully I am able to stick through it. It is ridiculously late, and these games have been delayed by upwards of 2.5 hours. I don't know, it at least feels like it. Either way, we do have a draft ahead of us, and hopefully there aren't going to be any further delays in this game. Brewmaster Io, the first two bans from Awake, and Centaur the Slark, first two from Aces. They'll go ahead and snag up the Death Prophet first. No real big surprises so far.
Yeah, can't say that there are indeed. Just Death Prophet, such a good hero to have. I'm not too sure if Aces ran the Death Prophet in the first game against G7 as well or not. I can't even remember. Last game we definitely saw a Death Prophet, if I'm not mistaken. It feels like it's been forever already since we had the last game. But Awake, starting with his Sky of Mage, also a really standard pick. They can go like whichever way now with the next picks, just Ogre Magi, Razor, like really whatever they want.
Yeah, I don't think that they've really put themselves in any particular style of play with the Scarlet Mage. He's a really weak counter pusher and a fairly weak pusher at that, but I don't think that really matters. It's going to offer them a nice single target silence, especially if you can catch off the Death Prophet before she gets off her ultimate. And if she doesn't have like a Yules or BKB or anything to deal with that, can be really easy to burst her down, or if she's already used those aforementioned items. But yeah, as you said, Awake, they could go for pretty much anything and still be just fine. I think if they want to just go for their supports, that's probably the safest course of action. But picking up the Razor might just be too good to pass up.
Yeah, the Tide is still also in the pool, and I do believe last game Execration they did get their hands on both the Death Prophet and the Tide Hunter. Just such a strong combination, so maybe Awake should snatch that away from Aces. Not too sure if Aces would even go for the Tide, but well, my God, to be honest, it's so weird. I was feeling pretty good about myself, or not about myself, but I was like, yeah, energetic, pumped up for casting or whatnot, and suddenly there was like a switch. It's like, bam! Suddenly tiredness came, but it's gonna be fine as long as we actually get something to cast.
Yeah, fair enough. Right now, it's Awake taking a lot of their reserve time for this next pick, and hopefully it's something a little bit out of the ordinary, but it's going to be a long wait for a Naga Siren. Okay, so we might be in for quite a long game. If they're picking up this early, it's unlikely it's going to be anything other than a core Naga.
Man, oh God, why do you do this to us, guys? First, there are normal delays, then they want to make the games long as well. Why? God, why? Aces, of course, they have their chance to just try to speed things up, and that is exactly one of the heroes I was thinking about. Jakiro, definitely good hero, just apply enough pressure to the building, especially together with a Death Prophet. It is a crap ton of pushing, which is going to be hard for Awake to stop, especially since the Naga Siren won't be a part of the fights in the like first 25 minutes or so usually. So Aces, they might be going in the right direction, just wanting to make sure that they can pretty much take control of the game before the Naga gets huge.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like that is just going to be the plan. If Aces are able to play that game, Awake are going to have quite a task ahead of them to get back into it and keep this Naga Siren in fighting shape in order to take this later on. Getting that, excuse me, Relic and then subsequently into the Radiance is really hard if you don't have Tower Gold of yourself and if you don't have a map to farm on. So if Aces are able to just take those early tier 1s and tier 2s, Awake are going to be in a bit of a pickle here, depending on how they want to run this Naga. There is always the option that they could fall back and switch a Naga to a support role, but honestly there's nothing great for them to reset with that Naga Siren Sleep, and doesn't combo with the Skywrath Mage. They're probably going to still try to run it as a core.
Well, at the moment, it's really what heroes would you see Aces picking up? Do they really commit into pushing even more, or will the two of their just current heroes be enough?
Mm, I don't know. I think there's no reason to stop them from going for like just an all-in push and pick up things that are going to just mow down Awake. before Naga Siren even gets online. Aim to end the game in 30 minutes, maybe even commit to a Pugna push. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
Oh, it would be pretty nice to see. I haven't seen a Pugna for quite some time, I have to say. But Elder Titan will be coming out for Awake. Just a standard-ish pick, of course. Elder Titan could have been a pretty good hero for Aces if they just wanted to make sure the Exorcism does even more damage than it normally would. But it does get picked up by Awake. That, of course, maybe leaves their lanes a little bit passive. Astral Spirit, though, is pretty nice for counter-pushing, I guess. So, I mean, it's a strong hero, but at least the early game, Aces should be fine that the Elder Titan won't be able to just roam as much. Or is he gonna even be in the support role? Is it the Elder Titan offlane, maybe?
It feels like an Elder Titan support. Thus far into the draft, they're probably going to pick up a different offlaner. That laning situation is available to them, but Elder Titan offlane just feels so weak, especially if he is going to be up against Digikiro. In the farming or support role, he's just going to be zoned out so heavily by Liquid Fire.
It's definitely going to be extremely hard for him. I mean, that's why just offlaners that kind of can handle almost any lane solo are a lot better, just because if it would be Jakiro safe lane up against Elder Titan offlane, the supports of Aces, they could just really roam around and know that their safe laner doesn't need any help. That's just a huge bonus to have.
It definitely is. For now, it's going to be a Batrider for Aces, and that's a pretty solid hero for them to pick up for themselves. One of the better offlaners left in the pool. Very nice precision initiation, especially if you can find the real Naga Siren. Just pull her back into the rest of your team and focus her down before she's able to get the song. You have the Silencer and Death Prophet, as well as the Ice Path to follow up, and usually that's enough damage, especially if you have an Exorcism running.
Yeah, it most certainly is. So I definitely like the approach Aces have taken so far. For the Wake now, do they go for some form of defensive hero, somebody who could turtle? I mean, what's the game plan for them? Well, I guess Venomancer, he can push himself. He can turtle with just the Plague Ward wall as well. So not going to be a bad hero, I guess, for them. And if it's going to be like Venomancer Sky of Roaming, if the Venom Scale connects, it should be an easy kill on really any target.
Yeah, it feels like Awake just want to shore up their 4v5 potential for the early portion of the game to make sure the Naga Siren's able to get online. I think that's a pretty good approach. They have a lot of magic damage coming out from pretty much all of these heroes, amplified by the Natural Order as well as the Ancient Seal of the Scarlet Mage. It's going to be really scary.
Oh, it most certainly is. Aces, they have to make sure that either they have enough backup by that time, maybe even somebody with a mech being able to just help them out even further. And they still have openings for heroes as such. They can go for a Viper if they want to run the Shakira as a support rather than a core. Even go for a Enigma if needed. But oh, Aces, they're going for a Meepo. Awake usually the team that kind of likes to run the Meepo, but is this a valid choice here? I mean, I guess you can try to snowball, and you should have the space to do so with Naga Siren also trying to farm, but man, Meepo.
I actually quite like this pick here for Aces based on the game plan for Awake. They're looking to drag out this game and take really long, extended fights, and Meepo's really good when you're able to like just jump in, obliterate a target with poofs like the Venomancer or Skyrath Mage, win the fight, then get out. And he's gonna combo decently well with the Batrider. Awake's focus fire into this Meepo is incredibly limited. Ancient Seal isn't a great way to isolate a single Meepo, and their AoE damage is pretty immense, but they don't have any way to lock down and kill him. So I quite like this pick coming out from Aces, but they have to be really confident with their play, because if at any point they get behind and Venomancer gets like an Aghanim Scepter, Skyrath Mage gets some extra levels, you have that maxed out Natural Order, at which case Meepo is going to just start dying to the AoE damage, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, it's definitely true. I mean, Meepo does want to and kind of needs to be ahead for most of the time. Though, if it just remains untouched for quite some time, just gets the Aghanim Scepter and the Blink Dagger to follow. I think you and me casted the game together with Meepo like yesterday, 2 days ago. I don't even remember where it was exactly. Maybe it was with Mike, I'm not too sure. But Meepo didn't have the best time early, but got this Aghanims, got this Blink, and suddenly the game was won within the next 5 minutes or something.
Yeah. I believe that was with me. I think it was Lizard's Meepo in the Battle of Central Europe. Yeah, Enigma is going to be the last choice for Awake. It's going to give them a really nasty teamfight combination if they're able to line all of this up, but the very passive early laning stage is going to give Aces time to get their base items online. Blink on the Batrider, Ags on the Meepo, and Yule Scepter on the Death Prophet once they have all of those tools available, I think it's Ace's turn to just put the screws to Awake. Even though they're going to be getting quite a bit out of the laning stage themselves, is it enough to make up for the fact that the impact that Ace's heroes are going to have just with that bare minimum amount of gold? Um, I'm not sure. We'll have to see how Awake are going to be able to put this all together if they're able to delay their game.
It's going to be hard, but how do Awake even lane this? Is it just Naga Siren safe lane with Enigma jungle Skyraf supporting Venom mid and Elder Titan off lane, or is it even Venomancer's just safe lane farm, or how the hell do they run this?
That's a pretty good question. I expect Enigma to be in the jungle. Naga Siren with protected farm. I think what you said is probably the easiest way for them to lane it, but it could also be like a Veno Skywrath lane or Veno Elder Titan lane. Skywrath mid Naga Siren farming. It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to get these lane matchups correct.
Well, but Aces, their own last pick was the Disruptor. Definitely a good hero to just make sure Enigma doesn't get the black hole off, or if it does, it's not gonna be a long one. Decent against Naga Siren as well. Static Storm might be enough for you to just prevent that Song of the Siren from coming out. Lasso should be plenty of setup as well for the kinetic field to just kind of form its edges, form the walls there. So we'll see how well Aces can just farm up the Meepo. Most likely will be safe lane farm for him, with Patrider offlane, Death Prophet mid. Or would you prefer a Meepo being in the mid lane?
I think it is going to be a Meepo mid, or at least that's what I'm feeling. On the Radiant side, I think that's the better way to lane it.
Well, that of course will mean that Death Prophet is going to run the safe lane, but then again, fairly self-sufficient hero, so the supports can still be roaming around, just completely stack up the jungle for the Batrider to farm up, get the faster Blink Dagger as well. Even Death Prophet himself can come in with the Liquid Fire if need be, poofs from the Meepo. They actually have excellent just creep clear.
Yeah, they definitely do. We'll have to see what's going to happen right now. GLHF has come out from both sides, but we've started things off with a pause, which is not what I was hoping for. Yeah, we'll just have to see. Getting protected farm to the Meepo is going to be pretty secure for Aces, and once Boo gets like level 5 or so, he'll be able to farm some stacks, and once he gets level 3, he'll be able to make them stacks himself with his secondary Meepo, and please, let's not have another 2-hour pause. But either way, safe lane farm for the Meepo is not a bad idea, and it will give KL7 on the Jakiro quite a bit of room in the lane as well, since Boo will be able to so efficiently utilize his own jungle.
When they post, I wanted to say as well that, like, thank God that nobody's at least disconnected. But yeah, that didn't remain the truth for too long. My God. If the just issues start again, I'm not even too sure what actually happened. Supposedly they sent Group A to like the neighboring city or something into another Mineski internet cafe to play there, just because the first one was having too many people connected. I don't know, some issues, whatever they were. So Aces in the Wake, they most likely are now, or the entirety of Group A, they are most likely now in another internet cafe or wherever they're playing. And they're still having issues. Oh, why? Why, God? Why are you doing this to us? Well,
yeah, honestly, I don't know. I'm just informing the chat that we do have other games that are supposed to be going on. The Group B games haven't started yet, although they apparently are sitting in the same cafe that all of these games started, so we'll have to see. Yeah, unfortunately, we are running with 2-minute delay. I'm not exactly sure what's going on in the other streams. You are supposed to be streaming these with delay. So hopefully we'll be able to talk to admins and get permission to run our streams without delay in the future.
yeah, I'm gonna ask about that. I to be honest, didn't even think about that. I'm so used to running delay that, I mean, usually with LAN events, it doesn't really matter if you're running delay or not. It's definitely gonna make things a lot easier for us as well if we can run it without delays. Just interaction with the viewers. I wanted to say the crowd, but since we're not at the location, I guess we can't call them the crowd, so I don't know. Just...
Yeah. And it's sad that we're not at location either. That could be fun, but honestly sounds like there's a lot of garbage going on at the location, so maybe it's lucky that we're at home and we can actually, I don't know, chill at our houses during these extended breaks.
It's definitely somewhat of a bonus, I guess, but now we have the game on pause, hopefully for good. So, to introduce the lineups as well, because I don't think we did it. Maybe we did, I don't know. I'm gonna go over them anyway. So for aces, Boo will be playing the Meepo, leaving Tavlo on the Batrider, and we have another pause. But Secret is on the Disruptor, Fox on the Death Prophet, and the last one will be KL7 on the Chikiro.
And on the Wake side, Enigma is going to be played by King A2, probably looking towards the jungle. Toy2 on the Naga Siren, looking towards the mid lane. Venomancer, played by TNT2, is going to be followed by a Skarath Mage, played by XZen, up in the top lane, leaving last but not least Elder Titan off lane by Solotic.
Okay, so even Mike is in our chat, hoping that the pauses won't last for too long. But now, Aces have invaded into the enemy jungle. Can Secret catch anybody with a glimpse? Maybe. Oh, the Venom Scale clips at least 2. They're gonna get some easy kills, I do believe here. Secret dropping pretty low, but of course they might get some counter kills. Glimpse used on the Naga. Secret though will lose his life with Solotic. No, one more right click, he didn't go for it. Oh god, he backed off at the wrong time. KL7 picks up the first blood himself. Toy does bring down the Disruptor, but there's the dual breath, lands onto the Venomancer as well as Xen and King A as well. So it's gonna be a 2-1 at least, maybe a 3-for-1. Concussive shots does buy some valuable time. So in the end, it's gonna be a 2-for-1, but Elder Titan, man, he wussed out too early.
Definitely. In the end, it's going to be a trade that favors Aces 2-1, also getting that first blood. But the hero to get the kill on the Dire side is the Naga Siren, securing that early bottle. So not all is over for Awake. At least Naga didn't die.
Yeah, that's definitely a bonus. And having the bottle definitely helps out her capabilities in just farming out the mid lane now. Although Death Prophet does come with a double damage rune. Gonna have his own bottle fairly fast, most likely as well. So, I don't know, man. This start, Aces, they get the blocks. Do we have sentries? Yes, King A is carrying 2 of them. Is he gonna... I'm not too sure if it's gonna be in range where he places it. Usually it's placed like here or something. But King A hasn't placed the sentry yet. He's not even doing so. I'm not too sure why he's keeping just onto the sentries.
Yeah, neither am I. Right now, it's also very interesting to see the Meepos start out with boots first. Boo looking to play really aggressively, and up against this Elder Titan, you definitely can secure some early kills, but I'm not sure this is exactly the way he needs to do it. Either way, he's not going to be pressured that much by just a solo ET, at least at this point. Instead, is going to go a little bit aggressively. He does have the net, but decides not to throw it, holding on to his mana.
I guess mana early on, you need it rather bad most of the times. But at the moment, looks like the lanes themselves will be rather passive, at least from the side of Awake. I mean, they have an Enigma after all. But he does find the ward. Had the sentry down at the exact right position for it, I guess. Could have placed it a little bit more downwards as well if need be. But he does get it still. I think the jungle has been slowed down by enough already.
They found Solotic. Body blocks coming out from Secret. Ice Path completely off the mark, however. It's going to mean that Elder Titan should be able to walk this one off.
That Ice Path, oh man. And thanks to the first engagement, Chikiro's killing off the dual breath and now the Ice Path as well. He's not going to have the liquid fire, which means he's going to have to actually rely on his mana pool. And he's already out of it.
Yeah, he's going to go all the way back to base, but not before creating a triple stack for the Meepo to farm later on. And with level 3, Boo's going to pretty much have this lane on lockdown, and we'll be able to farm up that stack soon enough once he gets a couple more levels. So be able to level up his Poof at 4 and 5, and once he has 3 points up in the Poof, it should be pretty easy for him to farm that stack. Or maybe they give the way of the Batrider. Batrider, currently level 3 up in the top lane, isn't having a terrible time as far as offlaners are concerned, but isn't having a great one either. Would like to have that Blink Dagger ASAP.
Yeah, the thing with a Batrider is that even if you're getting XP from the offlane, you're probably not getting last hits, or it's not a hell of a lot of them. So you kind of need the jungle. And it's so weird as an offlaner that you kind of rely on the jungle farm anyway, no matter how well your offlane goes. Unless it's a 1v1 matchup, you most likely just want to jungle up anyway.
For sure. Both teams have really good teams at abusing that jungle. Enigma can farm up very effectively, and eventually Toy2 is going to be completely running the jungle, and even now can farm an occasional camp.
Man. Fun fact, the sentry that he used to deward, it blocks the camp anyway.
Oh, that's right. This spawn box is actually really janky. Okay. Yeah, don't deward there.
Yeah, he should have just placed it on the ground, just right next to it, and it would have been in range to all the same places that would have been inside the hitbox, I think. But I don't know, a little bit sad, so that's just a sentry wasted. A lot of time for him wasted as well. So Aces, just mission accomplished.
Yeah, I suppose so. And in the end, there's nothing you can do about your own wards. Can't remove those at all. Boo dropping pretty low to an Astral Spirit coming out from the ET, but he'll be sustained. Glimpse back onto Solo Tick. This time the Ice Pad lands. Net from the Meepo is going to be juked, and Boo won't be able to pursue that kill anymore. Yet again, Elder Titan's going to survive.
So nice for him, getting some extra free XP as well and not even paying for it. Gonna have his Tranquil Boost finished if he just gets to the side shop to pick up the Ring of Regen. That's probably the hardest part for him at this point. Depending on how the lane's gonna push out, but it's going to push out at the moment until the Astral Spirit comes, maybe. It is only level 1 with a level 1 natural loader, or level 2 rather. So not doing too much. Oh, Fox, what? He got the kill on the Skyref. I guess Skyref just... maybe not even overextended, just got caught by a haste rune.
Yeah, it was just haste and rundown from the DP. A handful of Crypt Storms, 3 bottle charges up as well. And now the Venomancer is the one to be dropped low. 4 stacks of Sneaking Napalm. TP attempt coming up for the Batrider. He's going to cancel it and return the kill onto the Ven. No, with the Firefly trying to run away from the Skarath Mage. He's going to drop low and die to the Arcane Bolt. No neutral denies were had today. Very risky move by the Batrider. Ends up paying off, although the Skarath Mage is going to enjoy a couple extra levels.
Is it even worth it in that case? I mean, Skyref Mage getting closer to that level 6 should be a pretty scary thing if you're really anybody playing against the Skyref Mage. I guess getting the kill on Venomancer was nice, but maybe just escaping would have been a little bit more beneficial there.
Probably. The end trade, it's going to be 171 gold gained by the Batrider, 149 lost by the Veno, and both the Veno and Skarath getting about the same amount of experience. I'm going to say that benefits the Batrider, although not hugely.
Well, at this point though, looking just at the pure last hit numbers, Meepo is number 1, 27-2, with Fox being close behind. But of course Naga Siren 22-2 as well, not doing too shabby at all in the mid lane. I guess there's only like so much a Death Prophet can actually do to harass a Naga, especially once he's level 6 as well. There's almost, or at least there shouldn't be any solo kill potential there for him. And bottom lane, Boo, he's gonna go farm up that triple stack now. Just poofing forward, he's even smoked up, not using the right clicks or anything, just keeps on poofing. Now he's going to go for the right clicks as well. Well, in the meantime, Solotic, he's level 5 on the offlane Elder Titan. So both offlaners getting just more accomplished than I would have maybe expected. I guess Batrider was up against kind of a dual lane, a pseudo tri-lane at best. But Elder Titan was legit against the tri-lane.
Yeah, I'm most surprised about Solotic's performance in the bottom lane. Just spamming out that Astral Spirit. It's something I don't think about a lot, but I suppose you do get extra damage for every Meepo it passes through, and Meepo hasn't been super present inside all of these lanes. He has been farming up jungle fairly aggressively. Meepo, this is going to be a Boots of Travel Rush coming out from Boo, and I'm not sure if this is the game for it, but I quite like it. It's very nice to just have that global pushing potential, and it can rival the split pushing power of a Naga Siren.
It actually can, so it's not going to be a bad investment, I guess. Plus, of course, 50-second cooldown on the TP. Plus, if you TP to a tower, you're not going to invoke that like additional duration for the next TP or something. So, it's going to be pretty nice in just reacting to what Awake does. Enigma, of course, is a strong pusher as well. So, it's going to be able to be there at all times, pretty much. Of course, it does delay maybe a little bit the Aghanim Scepter or the Blink Dagger, whichever he wants to go for. But since he's farming up so well on the safe lane, it's probably not going to make a huge difference.
I was half expecting the Meepo to go for just a raw Blink Dagger rush, but now Boss in mid looking for a net. He might not even need it. Song of Siren is already forced out by Toy 2. He is going to bring in his second Meepo, and Toy 2 is going to be able to run away. Although that Song of Siren cooldown is quite significant at the early levels, and forced out for very little committed by Aces.
I just found out that the Malaysia game that HeflaTV was supposed to cast, they started it without even handing out the password, I think. Oh man, fun times. Thank God that we actually get to cast the game properly from the lobby. At least they should be on Dota TV. The old Solotic, he's gonna get glimpsed back. There's the Earthbind, number 1. Echo Stomp will come out in time. It actually might save him. My freaking God, Solotic, he survives.
Yeah, again, another close escape from death. Double boost will clear up the creep wave. But Boo, he's going to go back to base. This is another thing you can do when you have Boots of Travel on your Meepo. You can heal up very easily and then cycle your Meepos back and forth from the base without really missing a beat. This gets even better once you get like that third Meepo up and running. But honestly, it's not going to delay his farm that much at all. Venomancer, the real surprise for me is how much farm he's been able to get up in the top lane. Batrider can't deal with these Plague Wards much at all. And TNT, he's been able to find pretty much free farm. Arcane Boots Basilius, now 1,000 gold on top of that already. He's going to Gale up the Batrider. He does have the Firefly online, but he's moving so slowly. He is going to be able to make it back to base after a quick TP reaction.
It's going to be a pretty sad life for him indeed. It's like I said, you can't do too much to Plagueworks. Fox though, another haste rune on him. Enigma backed off just in time though. So Fox gonna go back into the mid lane. Crypts form up, the creep will most likely try to pressure the tower. Although how much he can do that without exorcism, probably not gonna be a hell of a lot. They do see Toy though, they most likely know that the Song of Siren is still on cooldown. So maybe they're gonna attempt the kill. Definitely having Static Storm would be a little bit better top lane in the meantime. Xen, his smoke breaks Tavlo, too bad it doesn't... Oh, he's gonna get the lasso, yes, no TP out. Ice Path to follow as well. Scarf Mage, easy kill. Or easy death for him, I don't know.
Yeah, easy kill for the Batrider, just walking in. Usually Lasso isn't a very important cooldown this early into the game anyway, so nothing really lost for Aces. Just gains all around. Meepo does have his point booster picked up on the Courier. It's not the usual build-up you see for Aghanim's Scepter, but it is going to be really easy for Meepo to find that farm throughout the map, and he's having a grand old time down in bottom.
He certainly is, and that's what they need as well. Awake, although they have the Naga Siren, his impact isn't just as explosive as a Meepo's is, especially if Meepo like gets the Aghanim Scepter next, has the point booster flying out, I do believe, or yes, it is. So he has the point booster now as well. Once he gets the Aghanims, his farming speed increases by a hell of a lot. Once he gets the Blink as well, his killing potential just suddenly skyrockets. Whereas Naga Siren, he just, first he gets the Radiance, then he becomes a little bit more annoying, but he's not going to join the fights anyway. Then maybe he still wants to go for Boots of Travels before that Manta style. Once he gets the Manta style, that's when he can finally start just kind of doing something. Before that though, he is kind of a useless asset for their team.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And the Meepo, he's going to be able to maintain his relevancy, continuously just sustaining himself throughout the jungle. He's able to farm already, and that next major item is going to come up very fast. Almost halfway towards the Ag, Static Storm Kinetic Field in mid, glimpse back on the Scarlet Mage. Nobody's really caught inside that silence of the Disruptor. They'll throw a Malefice out onto the Disruptor himself, and now chased down by Natural Spirit. The Malefice stun. They don't have mana for a Stomp coming out, but the Black Hole committed. It's going to be a very easy kill. Netted down, however, he's going to get that canceled. The double poofs onto King A. He is going to be focused down by Boo. The slows coming out from the Geo Strike. He's not focusing with both of the Meepos. Now Malefice on the Meepo. The poof damage is going to be enough to clean him off. The Disruptor is pursued in the backlines. Song of the Siren won't save the Elder Titan as he burns down the flames of the Batrider. And it looks like Awake are going to be able to retreat with their Naga Siren, but still a very favorable trade for Aces.
Yeah, really well done. I mean, just Disruptor killing, no way worth it. He did delay out, well, I guess the initiation with his Static Storm as well onto him. And so far, Skyriff Mage still not level 6. I mean, he got that level 4 from the kill on the Batrider. He's gained only 1 level since then. That's extremely surprising. Oh, the glimpse back from long range into the Ice Path he goes. Dual Breath as well. Do they even have enough to get the kill? With the tower helping out, they sure as hell do. Just Shakira even TP down just to make sure he doesn't die to the poison damage. But another kill for them. Just creating more space. Meepo already number 1 in the net worth. Has 2 parts of the Aghanim stun. Shortly to be 3 parts. Has the triple Meepos. It's looking like a pretty good start for Aces.
It really is, and they're about to hit that point that I was talking about when they get those major items up on all 3 of their cores. Meepo's Aghanim Scepter is going to be delayed. I didn't expect the Boots of Travel Rush coming out from him, but Death Prophet almost has the Yule Scepter. In fact, is going to have that flying out to her in about 200 gold or so. Batrider, about the same amount of gold away from his Blink Dagger, and will have it after it cleans up 1 or 2 more stacks. If Mud Golems weren't there, it would for sure be enough gold, but I still think this should be plenty for him to pick up that Blink Dagger. And then Meepo is going to come online as well. Aces, they have everything they could want, and there you have it. This is time for Batrider to start looking for ganks.
Like you said, they're getting the core items that they need. It's really scary, and although Boo's Aghanim Scepter will be somewhat delayed, I actually think the speed that he gained from getting the Boost of Travels, I mean his farming speed, being able to just TP back 1 Meepo to home all the time, reaching up, then come back in with more poofs and whatnot, it probably even allowed him to just farm that little bit of faster to get that Aghanim Scepter next, because if he continues like this, he's gonna have it by like 14, 15 minutes in. And that's a pretty good timing, to be honest. I mean, even without Boost of Travels, it would be nice.
Yeah, it actually is. Like, raw baseline, 15 minutes is when you want to get that Aghanim Scepter, like, after Power Treads in a good farming game, but with these Boots of Travel, he's just able to get so much more. Blink Lasso onto King A is going to be the end of the Enigma's life. He throws on a Malefice before he falls, but that's going to do nothing. Skyroth Mage, the next one to be spotted out, is glimpsed back, I believe, but doesn't do anything. Concussive Shot into the Death Prophet under a tower is going to delay things. Shakiro thinking about throwing out an Ice Path, but ends up not doing so. They'll just clean up a Creep Wave and a handful of Eidolons. A lot of CS for Fox in that Crypt Storm. Kinetic Field lands on the TNT, now Static Stormed up. up, as well as the dual breath. They Yules up one. Venomancer still dropping low. The Crypt Storm will do him in. Silence onto Fox, but not before he's able to get off the exorcism. It's a double kill for Fox, and now into the tower. They're going to push very easily as Meepo takes a tier 1 tower down in bottom. There's really no saving grace for Awake across this map. Naga Siren's still getting some farm, but it's not enough to make up for this abysmal start. That's a 14-minute, sub 14-minute Aghanim Scepter Bootsy Treble on Meepo. This is insane amounts of farm.
They might even get Toy in the mid lane as well. Naga Siren trying to run away. Flamebreak pushes him back a little bit. He's going to be forced to pop the song once again to pretty much gain nothing but his own life at the very best. And the craziest thing is though, even though Meepo has all this farm, Death Prophet still has more net worth.
Insane. Like, Death Prophet 4-0 and 2 this game, pretty much free farming in lane. Less CS than the Meepo even, but that doesn't matter because of the kills she's been able to pick up. It's huge. They kill off the Meepo in mid, which is great for them. Naga Siren able to pick off that kill as well. Too aggressive a move coming out from this Meepo with no backup. Honestly not sure what he was doing back there.
It was definitely way too aggressive. If he had a blink, he could have jumped the Naga Siren and easily gotten the kill. But since he didn't, or he didn't even commit to it, he got one Earthbind on him. I think had he followed up with like one extra Earthbind plus just the poofs, would have been a death of Naga, so at least bring somebody with you if you're gonna die anyway. King A now has the mech finished on Enigma, but I don't think it's gonna play too huge of a part, although Naga Siren up to 3k gold now, so not gonna get that Sacred Relic too late either. Oh, the glimpse back into the Static Storm of the Venomancer is a sad, just snake-like person, being, I don't know. But even as a Blink Dagger, still doesn't do him any good when you get glimpse back like that.
Yeah, it really doesn't. And Blink Venomancer, it's kind of nice, but it's not as nice as the Aghanim Scepter Meepo. Even after dying once, it actually doesn't matter all that much. It helps out the Naga Siren a whole heap ton. She is going to have that bottle as well as Relic coming up shortly. And it's going to be a great timing for the Naga, to be fair, based on this game. But the enemy team is just so scary. Death Prophet hasn't died. Got the assist for that last kill, and now working towards Heart or Atos. Honestly, I don't think it matters what she builds. This Death Prophet's building in some really major items soon.
It's definitely going to be hard for Awake, unless the Naga Siren really just takes over the game, which he very well might with like an 18-19 minute Radiance for him, if he continues like this. But Aces, they have all of their ultimates ready, level 2 Exorcism, level 2 Lasso even as well, 1.6k on the Batrider. Venom Scale connects on Fox. Do they really follow up Secret? He's around. He can glimpse somebody back, just has to wait for a little while. Glimpse onto King A. Do they have the Static Storm? Nope, it's still on cooldown. They don't want to commit into a black hole, but there's the blink from Venomancer. Pops the Poison Nova. Everybody's just trying to TP out from their Secret. Gonna make it out. So that's just a Macro Pyre against a Poison Nova just traded.
Yeah, more or less. Right now, at this point in the game, those cooldowns don't really mean much, and they actually don't do that much damage. Comparatively, later on, they'll do quite a bit more. Tier 1 tower is going to fall to the likes of the Eidolons. Let's see if it's going to be denied. Death Prophet is going to be able to secure the last hit, denying some gold that's much needed for Awake. Although, this is still going to be a Relic secured by Toy 2.
So it's a pretty nice timing. He hasn't died, has gotten 2 kills as well. So Aces, although they had a pretty nice game, they have failed to just kill off the Naga Siren. They've gotten close a couple of times, but Song of the Siren is just a little bit too strong of an ability. Or Aces, they haven't been able to just chain the ganks together between the 3 minutes that it's on cooldown, the Song of the Siren that is. They are still looking good. Looking at the graphs, about a 7k, almost 7.5k network fleet. XP, wow, 12,000. I guess Meepo being level 14 just plays its part there.
Yeah, it definitely does. He's able to just soak up so much out of the map, and the rest of his team isn't suffering because of it. 9 on both of the supports. Compare that to the level 6 on the Skyrath Mage. And now down in bottom, he'll catch him in the Static Field. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, Black Hole going to be returned, but he ends up dying just the Exorcism, and it gets cancelled by a net, I believe. Stop from the Yellow Tide going to cancel a TP coming out from Tub Low, as well as from Secret. Actually, no, the Disruptor TP, he'll be doing so now, going back towards the base, just dropping a little bit too low. But either way, it's still a win for Aces as they pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, for the second I was like, was it really worth just lassoing the Skyrath Mage when the Enigma was around as well? But in the end, didn't matter at all. Just got the kill anyway. Exorcism, a little bit too strong, especially if you're... I think he was like literally the only target who got focused by it there. So a little bit unfortunate, but at least Toy, he's gonna have that Radiance in about 300 gold, and that's gonna have to be a game changer. But will it be? I kind of have my doubts, especially now that Pooh on the Meepo has the blink as well.
Yeah, this is godly farm from Boo. Like, 20 minutes in, as a Meepo player myself, in a good game, you get, like, Blink Treads and your Aghanim Scepter. That's where you want to be. He has Aghanim Scepter, Blink, and Boots of Travel at 18. Like, this is not slowing down either. Radiant's Naga farms pretty fast, but it seems that Boots of Travel Rush on Meepo farms even faster when you don't really get pressured at all. The only death he had probably was avoidable if he just didn't go for that aggressive dive.
Well, we'll see if this Naga Siren can now catch up to the Meepo. He probably can if he just micros it correctly, that doesn't die, doesn't join too many fights, but him not joining fights just means that there's not going to be a Song of the Siren to bail him out or bail the team out. And look at Fox, he's like, what, 800 gold away from that Heart of Tarrasque recipe. Death Prophet gonna get that pretty early on as well, like 21, 22 minutes in at max most likely. So he's gonna be pretty tanky by himself. So the Poison Nova, the Radiants, they might be annoying, but against Death Prophet probably not gonna be annoying enough. Although I'd still like to see like Mech or Pipe, something like that coming out from them.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the hero to work towards those is the supports, or at least should be the supports. Secret goes for a 4th staff, and it looks like that's going to be a choice for Jakiro as well. I think getting a mechanism on one of these heroes is just a little too good to pass up.
It's Jakiro, I've seen just so many games where they build into like Yule Scepter into Pipe. At the moment of going for 4 staff, I guess it can be nice against, like, for example, the Ensnare of the Naga. But Yule Scepter on a Jakiro is just such a great setup for his own Ice Path. Well,
yeah, it really is. Sorry about that. There was like a little bit of an awkward delay. I'm just trying to sort some stuff out behind the scenes.
At this point in time, though, looking at the graphs, they are still slowly but surely going upward, especially the XP and 15,000. We're only 20 minutes in. Of course, it does have its downsides. I mean, Meepo, as strong as he may be with the blink jump-ins and everything, if you get caught, you give away so damn much, and all you need to do is kill off one Meepo. That's all it needs, or that's all it takes.
Yeah, it really does. Killing off that one Meepo is pretty darn hard for Awake, but they have tools to do it. They just need more, and they're not finding it. This Meepo is currently looking at 10 CS a minute. Naga Siren is going to pick up to this farming speed of Meepo, but not fast enough. He's going to get his Scythe and now jump into low tick in mid. They're going to song for him, but it doesn't save his life. Mystic Flare into the Batrider is layered with the Song of Batrider, survives. Glimpse back onto King A. Net going to miss onto Toy 2. Poos coming in from Boo, trying to clean up anybody he can. Exodus and Pop is going to force any chase away from Awake. The Poos from Boo are going to be cancelled, as that probably would have accomplished nothing. Net onto KL7. They might be able to kill him off, but Toy needs to be careful now. The Net does fight through and ends up not connecting it all the burn. They're going to look for the Flame Break kill. It isn't going to be enough to kill off this Enigma. Looking for the TP out. He is going to survive, but just barely. Nothing else is going to tag him. He makes it back to base, but Venomancer's not going to be so lucky as he's chased down by Exorcism Spirits and burned down to oblivion. Blink forward by the Meepo isn't able to chase any more down, but will farm up the enemy jungle.
So it was a 2 for 2 in the end. A Venomancer and Elder Titan for Jakiro and Disruptor. Ice Path, of course, unfortunately, once again off target. And I have to say, there have been a lot of just questionable Ice Paths, I guess. They have been like a little bit off target. It's maybe he's not as used to playing Jakiro. And Ice Path, you can like try to target it multiple ways. You can just click it kind of in front of you for the angle. It might go wrong if you're not used to it. If you try to click too far, you might just start running and then try to cast it, something like that. So maybe it has still a little bit of things to figure out, but it's still looking decent for them. I mean, at least they got the counter kills. Had they just randomly lost support, it would have been somewhat bad, but Venomancer dying just evens it out.
Yeah, and Death Prophet and Meepo both survived 6-0 and 4 on Fox. He has a heart completed now, 1,700 gold just casually in the bank at 22 minutes in. Meepo is not stopping at all. He actually picks up drums on Boo. I'm not sure if I like this choice, but either way, we're going to see a lasso again. It's going to be pulling back XN, but not enough. Mystic Flare into the Batrider is going to be stomped up as well, but doesn't do enough damage. There's a black hole onto Meepo's inside the Midnight Pulse. The damage is pretty immense, but it's not immense enough. He kills off the Enigma inside of it. Needs to get out of that Midnight Pulse. Going to send one of his Meepos back to base, and will subsequently move all the other ones back. But keep in mind, he does have Boots of Travel on all 5 of his Meepo clones and can come back at any moment. Death Prophet chasing down Solotic in mid, looking for the Yule Scepter potentially. Will find it. Will follow up potentially with the Silence. Looking for it. No, No, just going to be Crypt Storm. Flame Break going to bounce it back. The Glimpse as well. Caught inside the kinetic field. Now there's nowhere for him to run. He is going to be right-click down. However, top low is dropping pretty low. The Ice Path also pretty questionable, but in the end, it's 2 kills cleanly for Aces, losing literally nothing.
Yeah, the Meepo already pushing out the top lane as well there. With most of his Meepos being there, some TPing to the bottom lane, just spreading himself in, pushing out every single lane, and that's just one power. And you did mention that Meepo, especially with the Boots of Travels, might be a hero that can just stop the Naga Siren split push. Although I haven't really seen Naga Siren do much of anything. He has gotten Boots of Travels after the Radiance, but it's not enough, and he's just kind of standing in the mid lane. He's dealing out things somewhat. Oh, the Static Storm TNT, he gets caught in the kinetic field. Top load blinks in as well, no lasso even needed, and he's gonna have it now. It's off cooldown. Wu comes in with a beautiful Earthbind. There's the Mystic Flare, it's not gonna do enough, not nearly so. Lasso used as well onto the Enigma, so they get the kill. Venomancer even buys back for this. Skyroth can do so as well if he wants to, but Venomancer gets the ultimate off Patalo, just deeping out. Oh, the Geo Strike slows them down by so much. Toy, he's gonna lose his life. Naga Siren, no buyback for him. Boo, drop slow, might even lose his life. Earth Splitter, oh god, he goes down. So they get the Meepo kill, which is pretty huge, but they lose quite a lot themselves.
Yeah, definitely. It's still worthwhile for Aces. That was really risky by Meepo to stay in that fight throughout the entirety of that, burning to the Venomancer ultimate as well as the Radiance for that long. He could have just poofed out his Meepos to the base and still gotten that kill. Just making the riskier and less conservative plays. Going to cost him his life. And I'm going to talk about this drums a little bit as well. He decides to go for that item instead of just rushing straight towards the scythe. He would have that scythe completed now if he didn't go for those drums, and I really dislike the choice of him to go for this Drums of Endurance. It's going to give him effectively the same stats as that Ultimate Orb, and honestly, if you just want strength for that next fight, getting a Casual Bracer is probably better.
I mean, I do support the idea of having at least one set of drums on your team, and with nobody else going for it, I guess Meepo could have been the only one. It does give you a lot of movement speed because you have the Boost of Travels just base anyway. Although I have to agree, just the Hex would have been excellent. Makes it so easy. For example, had they been able to Hex off the Venomancer, make it so that he can't Poison Nova, things could have been a lot different, or probably would have been, not could have been even. So it slows him down for sure.
But in the end, slowing down this Meepo, does it even matter? He has 240 CS at 26 minutes into the game, and it's not going to matter soon. Meepo's going to have the Hex anyway, so it's nitpicky. I don't like the item choice, but it doesn't matter, and it helped him in that last fight, I suppose. So there you have it. Meepo's an absolute wrecking ball at this point in the game, and Naga Siren, usually at this point in the game, to stay up against the enemy team when the rest of your heroes are behind, you have to be at the top net worth chart. Naga isn't even close. Her net worth is closer to that of the Batrider than the Meepo and DP.
It's just not good enough at this point. Of course, they haven't lost their high ground, so they still have quite a lot of time. I really kind of expect Meepo maybe to even get Roshan. If they had Vlads on somebody, anybody, it would be so easy for them to take it. Although, even without the Vlads, it should be easy.
With Boots of Travel, you can toggle your Meepos back to base very easily. Just keep on cycling one inside the fountain, and you get that fountain regen if you do it. It's a little bit slower that way, and the clap still does a truckload of damage to all of your Meepos, but at this point, he can solo it very quickly. He just needs to find an opening. Force Staff, Blink, oh, Venomancer almost tagged by that lasso. Fast reactions from Veno are going to keep himself safe.
So at the moment, looking at the Death Prophet, he's going to have a Bloodstone finished up as well, flying out to him at the moment. Oh god. Even this Death Prophet is just so ridiculously farmed. He's keeping up with the Meepo. Eul Scepter now, can he follow up with the Silence? Static Storm, not there quite yet, but it's the Silence. They need the Glimpse back into the Static Storm, anything. The Glimpse is there. They catch him. Oh, they need to get the Hex as well. They do get it. They're probably going to get the kill. No Black Hole from King A. And that's 2 heroes down. Naga doesn't have buyback. Poison Nova used. Mystic Flare as well. Ice Path will catch TNT with the Earthbind. Lassoed up. So Boo gonna TP back home to just remain alive on the Meepo. But that's 3 heroes down all of a sudden. And the power of Static Storm.
Yeah, okay. It's ridiculous how farmed this Meepo is. Like, I can't stress that enough. 27 minutes in, 28 minutes in, you're not supposed to be getting this much. Like, his net worth is through the roof. He's almost, like, 6-slotted. He can get a Scotty on top of this and then replace the drums. But it actually doesn't matter. Awake can do nothing to stop him. Their Venomancer ultimate doesn't do enough damage fast enough before he kills the entire enemy team.
Well, that's just a tier 2 down on the top lane as well now. So they get the fight, they get the buildings. All the outer towers are destroyed now. That just kind of opens up high ground for themselves. If really just go get yourself Roshan, get the Aegis on the Meepo, and go break high ground with the next Exorcism, which is level 3. 11 Bloodstone charges already on the Death Prophet. Just got those easy free charges just as he finished the Bloodstone. Things couldn't be really going much better for them.
They really can't. Like, Naga Siren's usually a hero that you talk about and you're like, oh, they're not out of the game. They have a Naga Siren to still fall back on, but Toy2, he needs 30 minutes to get the farm that he needs, and even then, Meepo's just going to get there that much faster. Roshan, soloed up by Boo, this is the power of those Boots of Travel, is able to get back to the base, and then get back on the front lines quickly. This is time where Aces can think of going high ground and just ending this game now. They have a double life on their Meepo. Killing him once is hard enough for Awake. Killing him twice is all but impossible. They'll need both Black Hole and the Venomancer ulti to do so, I think.
I mean, they definitely need one or the other, or, well, I guess if you only pop the Venomancer ultimate, he might just be able to TP out from under your nose. So they kind of need Echo Storm. They need everything that they can get for this. It's so hard to play against this Meepo, and he's getting tankier and tankier. Another 3.1k in the bank for him as well. Has the Aegis, and they are so ready to Taulo. Even has a Yule Scepter, more movement speed, has a gem and everything. If they catch King A now, for example, what could Awake do? Do they even have buybacks on those heroes?
Ooh, he wanted to go in. He blinks aggressively in the enemy base, but can't find them. Even if they throw everything to Meepo, they're still dealing with Fox, who has the heart as well as the Bloodstone. Ends up doing quite a lot of his damage, but they find somebody inside the base, and this is their Black Hole down the drain if they can actually kill him. But with the Song of Siren, it's going to be pretty damn hard. The Exorcism Spirits! King A, he's almost down, and Mechanism is going to keep him alive, but now one Liquid Fire is going to turn Black Hole just as a hero, but that's not enough. Inside the Kinetic Field, Static Storm 2/2 is going to be brought down as he's netted to the ground. That's 3 clean kills towards Aces, and they use almost everything. KL7 might fall. Just a low tick, force staffing forward, trying to get any kill that he can, but turning for the duel rift. KL7 is going to be brought down by the Astral Spirit, ends up dying. We are going to see a buyback from the Enigma, but what can he do? He doesn't have a Black Hole. He can blink in Malefice, and his middle melee barracks are already down. Blink into the base. Net misses from Boop, poops in the other Meepos. Net onto TNT. Now with that Geo Strike, there is no running for this Venomancer. He's going to be burned down quickly, and Aegis is still up for this Meepo. Yule Scepter on the Enigma inside his own base. Secondary Yules, he can't go anywhere. Oh, they'll burn him in the fire and the flames. It's beyond godlike for tough low, my goodness. And it is going to be GG called out.
Man, Aces, they have been playing so well today. Arguably, they haven't been up against the strongest of teams maybe as well, but they are 3-0 and there's only 3 more games for them to play. So at worst, they're gonna be just 3-3 and just 50-50. So looking really good at the start of this group stage.
Definitely, that was a commanding performance coming out from Aces. You can't ask for better. Like, all of their lanes worked out. There just wasn't anything wrong. They didn't put a lot of pressure on the Naga Siren early. It ended up not mattering. They just completely dominated.
Yeah, guys, so that's going to be it for Aces versus Awake. All of those games in the group stage are going to be best of 1. But we have lots of more Dota to come. I do believe the next game should be Execration versus Awake now coming out. Not too sure when they're going to be able to play it, or it might change what game we're casting as well, depending on how things start, because we don't want to keep you just looking at the waiting screen for way too long. So we're just gonna grab a decent game probably from Group B. Hopefully it's gonna be Execration versus Awake. If not, then something else. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, enjoying the game hopefully as well, enjoying the cast. If you did, you can always follow HeflaTV for more content. But for now, we're just gonna try to price some information out of the admins about the next games, and hopefully see you soon enough.